Welcome back to A Game of Fangs and Thrones. My name's Hannah, and this is a book haul of sorts. Now, to caveat, I think I bought most of these in May, but I can't remember. And I did buy all of these myself. Most of these are new, but we do have 4 books that I got second hand. I want to say 4, but maybe more. So I have them categorized into, you may say, random categorization, but for me this makes sense. We have series finishing, new series I've picked up, a couple of standalones, and most of these are series continuations. So we will dive into the standalones because they're right in front of me. And we have bear in mind, I have no idea how many books I'm actually hauling today. So we have 5 standalones. These 3 are second hand, and they are the Deception Point by Dan Brown. This follows an intelligent analyst called Rachel Sexton when she's summoned by the President of the US to verify a discovery which NASA claims will change the future of the planet itself. You know, typical Dan Brown stuff. But then we follow in the Milne Ice Shelf in the Arctic Circle. The teams are working to unearth an astonishingly rare object buried deep in the ice. Rachel, accompanied by charismatic academic Michael Tolland, they soon discover the unthinkable evidence of scientific trickery. It's a discovery that this is a discovery that nobody wants to hear about, really. Fleeing for their lives in an environment as desolate as it is lethal, only hope for survival is to find out who was behind this masterful ploy, and the truth they will learn is the most shocking deception of all. Why do I get the feeling it's a government conspiracy? We shall see. Then we have a YA, The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. Faith's father is found dead under mysterious circumstances, so she's determined to find out the truth. She searches through his belongings and finds a strange tree that feeds off whispered lies and bears fruit that reveals hidden secrets. But when Faith obviously gets carried away lying, she discovers that where lies seduce, truth shatter. And we have Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. Now this I did pick up on a whim, and mainly because Channel 4 are doing a new adaptation, and I want to read the book before I see the adaptation. You know, typical stuff. But this doesn't really say much about it, but we are following Queenie in a darkly comic and bitingly subversive take on life, love, race and family. Queenie will have you nodding in recognition, crying in solidarity, and rooting for this unforgettable character every step of the way. And I think this was all the rage on BookTube a couple of years ago, if not last year. So I'm getting attacked by a clothes hanger now. Then we have these 2 which were bought new. We have Daughter of the Merciful Deep by Leslie Penelope. I picked this one up because it is Sarah Cannon from Heartbreathing and Sarah Cannon YouTube channels. It's her diverse read for her Heartbreathing's Notebook Challenge, and it just sounded interesting. So Jane Edwards hasn't spoken since she was 11 years old, when armed riders expelled her family and every other black resident from their hometown. Now, 12 years later, she's found a haven in the all-black town of Awanasa, but the construction of a dam threatens to wash her home under the waters of the new lake. Jane will do anything to save the community that sheltered her. Her quest will take her to a sunken world of capricious gods and unsung myths of salvation and dreams made real. But the floodwaters are rising. In order to save her home, Jane will have to find her voice again and finally face the trauma of the past. Daughter of the Merciful Deep is a compelling historical fantasy that shines a light on the drowned black towns of the American South as Jane discovers the power of her ancestors, her family, and her home. I think we have a couple of those maybe up near Kielder Water, the reservoir, because that reservoir is man-made and the surrounding villages were flooded. But I think the drowned towns may be more of an American South thing, but he's so fluffy. Anywho, I love American imports. Then we have a classic at this point, and I can't believe I haven't read it yet, and that is Carrie by Stephen King. I don't think I need to read the back, but I will anyway, just in case. But Carrie White has a gift, the gift of telekinesis. She can move things with her mind. To be invited to prom night by Tommy Ross is a dream come true for Carrie. The first step towards social acceptance by her high school colleagues. But events will take a decidedly macabre turn on that horrifying and endless night as she is forced to exercise her terrible gift on the town that mocks and loathes her. So, and this was his debut. That's all of the standalones. I do have a series conclusion, and that is The Blood Healer by Lynette Noni. The first, obviously I can't read the back because of spoilers, but the first book is The Prison Healer, where we follow Kiva, who is the prison's healer, and she is in a bit of a sticky situation. She is single-handedly keeping the prison population alive, but plague breaks out, I think, and the queen leader of the rebels is brought to the prison, and Kiva is tasked with keeping her alive because this leader, this girl, has to compete in the trials for her freedom. Completing the trials means freedom, failing the trials means execution. And Kiva signs up anyway. And then, obviously, I can't talk too much more about it because of spoilers, but hijinks ensue, and this is the conclusion. The first book, obviously, is Prison Healer, and then the second book is The Gilded Cage, and it all concludes in The Blood Traitor, and it's fairly hefty. It is 439 pages long, so that's a decent conclusion, I would say. I will leave this stack to last because it is continuations, and I think I have put a conclusion in there as well, but we will explain that when we get to it. So we'll do the series starters. We have Lightlark by Alex Astor, and again, this is a floppy boy. But welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Because it always does. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler must die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray, even as love complicates everything. Is this indie? I'm not sure, but it's so floppy. Then we have The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This is the epic story of the Indian Ocean's most notorious female pirates. Do I need to read any more? Yeah, let's just read some more. Amina Al-Sarafi has survived backstabbing rogues, vengeful merchant princes, several husbands, and one actual demon to retire peacefully with her family to live a life of piety and motherhood. But when she's offered a job no bandit could refuse, she jumps at the chance for one final adventure that will make her a legend. Yet, the deeper Amina dives, the higher the stakes, for there's always risk in wanting to seize one last chance of glory, and the price might be your very soul. Thrilling first book in a new trilogy of magic and mayhem in this tale of pirates and sorcerers, forbidden artifacts and ancient mysteries, is one woman's quest to write her own legend, and I believe she is an older mother. It doesn't say anything in either the author's note or the dedication, but yes, I think she's older. Or at least middle-aged, if not tipping the scale. But this is the big stack, because I am a big fantasy reader, and as we know, fantasy tends to be in series. So, we have the Battle Drum. I have a bit of a story with this one, actually. I thought the Battle Drum was the sequel to a different book. I don't know which one I thought was a sequel to, but I didn't realise it was a sequel. So I have the Battle Drum in physical copy and the Final Strife on ebook. And I don't have my e-reader with me, and I can't be bothered to read up and get the information on my phone, but I know nothing about this one, other than it is the sequel to the Final Strife, which I have not read and haven't looked at, other than to check it was the right book. Then we have Queen of Myths and Monsters, which is the second book in the Adrian and Isolde series by Scarlett Sinclair. Isolde is married to the vampire Adrian, and this is the sequel to that. I'm not good at summarising sequels. And then we have The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. This is the sequel to the Atlas 6. Now, I can tell you more about the Atlas 6. So this is a take on the Alexandrian Society, you know, the big Alexandrian library. 6 graduates, top of their field, are invited to study they are invited to try out for the Alexandrian Society. However, only 5 of the 6 will make it, so they are expecting trials, tests, a challenge, but for the most part they are pretty much left on their own for a year, and it's on that anniversary of that year when things start to happen. It's a very twisty-turny, thinky book, if I remember right. Obviously, this will deal with the fallout of that. Then we have The Twilight Watch by Sergei Lukyanenko. This is Russian originally and was translated by Andrew Brumfield. Now, it does say Volume 3 of the Watch trilogy. However, this is no longer a trilogy. So this is why it's in the continuation pile, not the conclusion pile. Basically, this is a grown-up. It says J.K. Rowling Russian style according to the Daily Telegraph. But it is so much more than that. It is much darker. We tend to follow multiple characters. And we have the Day Watch and the Night Watch, who show allegiance to the dark and the light respectively. And I did enjoy the first one. I just haven't got around to continuing yet. This is the last of the second-hand books. Then we have The Bullet That Missed and The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. As far as I know, The Last Devil to Die is the conclusion, but since we got both of them, we'll stick them together and talk about them. But basically, these are the Thursday Murder Club mysteries, which follow a group of amateur detectives who have retired and are living quite happily in their retirement village. I don't think there's much on... No, there's nothing on the back that says spoilers for previous, so I think they can be read as standalone, but obviously I'm guessing there's a thread that links all 4 books together. But in the bullet that missed, the synopsis says, it is an ordinary Thursday and things should finally be returning to normal, except trouble is never far away where the Thursday Murder Club is concerned. A decade-old cold case leads them to a local news legend and a murder with no body and no answer. Then a new foe pays Elizabeth a visit. Her mission? Kill. Or be killed. Can the gang solve the mystery and save Elizabeth before the murderer strikes again? And then the last devil to die. Shocking news reaches the Thursday Murder Club. An old friend in the antiques business has been killed, and a dangerous package he was protecting has gone missing. As the gang spring into action, they encounter art forgers, online fraudsters and drug dealers, as well as heartache close to home. With the body count rising, the package still missing and the trouble firmly on their tail, has their luck finally run out, and who will be the last devil to die? I just really love the humour in that. I've only read the first one, and it is here. I have the second one in hardback. Yes, my shelves are mismatched. I can deal with it, so can you. But then we have another book that's alive. We have Glint by Raven Kennedy. This is the sequel to Guild, which is the Dark King Midas retelling that is doing the rounds. I can't tell you too much about this one. I can't read the synopsis because, spoilers. But we follow... Does she have a name? Because I can't remember. But basically we follow a girl who is King Midas's first love, but she was gold-touched by him, and he protects her by putting her in a cage. But she has had some hard stuff happen to her, so that she actually sees the cage as protection. She prefers this cage until secrets have a way of coming out, and shit hits the fan, and she ends up on the run. This is the fallout of that, and I think it's the start of the actual romance between this. And I think I've heard people say that this is where the story starts, but we need to read Guild to understand the backstory. And then we have a middle grade, because I like my middle grade. I don't read middle grade often enough. But we have Skander and the Phantom Rider by A.F. Stedman. This is the sequel to Skander and the Unicorn Thief, which I haven't read, and I cannot remember what happens, but I think it is a school setting, and in this world, it's unicorns that everybody wants to ride, I think. But obviously, can't read too much into this one because I don't want to spoil myself for the first one. We are getting there. I think we have another conclusion, actually, but I'm not 100%. But this is Mina and the Cult by Amy McCarr. The third book in the Mina and the Undead series, and I just love these covers because they look like VHS or videotapes from the 90s. And they are set in the 90s, and I was born in 94. These books are set the year after I was born. So, yeah, not quite nostalgia, but basically in this we follow Mina, who moves to New Orleans for the summer. She's becoming reacquainted with her estranged sister and works in a haunted house where there is a copycat killer of some gruesome vampire-style murders taking place, and Mina's sister is unfortunately in the mix. So, can't talk too much more because this is the third in the series and I think it's a conclusion, but I'm not 100%. Then we have some iconic UK editions of Brandon Sanderson Mistborn books. We have Shadows of Self and The Alloy of Love. This is book 1, and this is book 2 in the second series of Mistborn. I'm counting them as a big whelp because I think they are the introduction to the Cosmere. I don't understand the Cosmere yet. Somebody please give me the cheat guide. But basically, in this one, we follow Wax and Wayne, and I think this is more like a western. It's set a long time after the events of the first ones, which is the Final Empire, the Well of Ascension, and the Hero of Ages. So those characters have descended into myth almost, and this is the new take on that, and I am very intrigued. Again, I bought the last book first, and then went back and found these two. So, dare I count up how many I have? Nah, but let me know if you think I should put my teeth in. Let me know if you think I should prioritize, why can't I say that, any of these books over any of the others. Let me know if there's anything that you can see behind me, that you think I should read quickly. Bear in mind, I do try to keep series and authors together. So we have my Schwab, my Sarah J. Maas, and all that good stuff. But yes, I've rambled on for long enough, I think. So give this video a like if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see this, talk about these, and I'll see you in whatever comes next. Bye!